Good night, sports friends and family. Good night, everyone. Welcome to another Sports Friends podcast. I'm your host, Levon, and with me tonight I have Sherwin, Arsenal man. Well, I should say the Everton fan. A man that is all rounded. This man plays every position in cricket. This man is a wicket keeper, a a frontline strike bowler, and probably even opening batsman. Good outfield catcher as well. So hold on. I'm gonna start. I'm done discuss this man, Remember that is just
Yes,
cricket. This man can play every position on a basketball field. This man can on a court. I mean,
yeah,
this man can
yeah.
play power for power forward, point guard, small forward, and all those positions. This man is all rounded. And let's not forget, last but most importantly, this man is also a long distance runner. So guys, we're not
That's
talking about a
good.
normal man. This Chris Lynch is a guru when it comes down to a lot of sports. Welcome, gentlemen. How are you doing? And Sherwin, I'm sure that a lot of our viewers are wondering why Sherwin in a mass tonight? Is he hiding because of Arsenal losing, or is actually because of other reasons? So I want you to tell our viewers why you're in a mass tonight.
Me just in a one position where me have to wear a mask tonight. As the fine I go be $1,000,
All
thousand
right, boss.
Canadian dollar.
We don't want to get fined, isn't it? So we're gonna make a keep on the mass of the night. Chris, how things stay on your side?
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. Everything is great. Everything is great.
All right, boss. We're going to no further and start no further where we culminated the previous live. That madness by UEFA, that Champions League proposal, I'm going to beat them on it.
Mhm.
First and foremost, and
Mhm.
it was actually one of our fellow panelists who pointed it out to me. Ryan, unfortunately, he's not here for the time being. Hopefully, he'll probably catch up later on. But pointed it out that currently there are 125 matches being played in the UEFA Champions League. With the
Mhm.
proposal that they are set to put in place, it is going to hop from 125 to a mammoth 225 matches. That's an increase
100
of
more.
100 matches. And if you look at it, coaches and players are complaining about the amount of matches they have to play right now. And if you check
Mhm.
on let's say you look at it from just a regular standpoint, when these teams are playing in the Champions League, Europa League, and all that, one player sometimes has to play close to 50 odd matches, sometimes 60 matches per season. So if they're
Mhm.
going to increase that, right, one player would have to play like up to 60 odd matches, 70 matches thereabouts. No, you're telling me that you're spreading across it, right? Because you're saying that you're trying to build up other teams. Don't you think that you're also contributing to quality players getting injured? You run the risk of that. And also, that in return will make it bad for your competition because you want quality competition. However, with you not putting so much pressure on these players of playing that amount of matches per season, is actually going to somewhat derail other teams because a lot of teams complain that here what they don't have enough players, they don't have this, they don't have that. So teams that are limited in terms of quality, how do you actually think they're going to survive with such drastic measures that you're going to put in place?
Mhm.
And also, if they choose to go ahead with this thing, right? I suggest they actually make the five substitution mandatory because remember that is something that they say they're going to come with. So if they're going to come with that, then they have to make this five substitution mandatory for all teams. If not, they're going to run the risk of having a watered down competition, even though
Mhm.
increasing it to 36 teams is actually watering it down already. So I mean, if you don't want it to get any worse, you need to do something about that. First I'm going to start off with Chris. Chris, what's your entire take on this with all the stats that I've just listed out that it will be increased from 125 matches to 225?
Yeah, you're going to find out that a lot of the teams, like I said, injuries is going to come into play. Obviously, with teams trying to win as much competitions as they can. And I think they're going to get a lot of licks from the coaches as soon as this season is done and the coaches are ready to adjust that. I think the coaches are going to come against it. I think it might be something like the Super League where they're probably going to have to turn back because I have not I have read a lot of places where people are just disagreeing past players, current players don't seem to be in favor of such a decision. It's really it's really sad because after one bad decision you will call from the Super League, then comes UEFA doing the same thing, not really looking to better off and let people have more trust in the in people controlling football. So
Mhm.
I don't know it's going to work because obviously I expect the coaches to come out once this season is done.
And I'm glad that you pointed out that, because as you said, there are players that have come out talking about it, and one such player is Ilkay Gundogan. And
Mhm.
he actually said that, here what? Yes, the ESL was somewhat madness, but then you have to look now and said, what is going on with Champions League as well? So I'm going to quote him directly. There's stuff going on. Can we please also speak about the new Champions League format? More and more games is no one new UCL format is just the lesser of the evils in comparison to the Super League. He's also saying that the UCL format right now works great, and that is why it's the most popular club competition in the world for us players and for the fans. So he's saying that why would they actually try to change something that is actually working? And then again, remember that we pointed it out that it is somewhat watered down right now. And our suggestion
Mhm.
was that they cut it down from 32 to probably 28 to make it more competitive.
Continue.
But
Yeah.
they're there with their proposal that they're going to increase it to 36 and have matches that these are going to play. So I'm like, you're coming with something and you're basically forcing it onto these people, that they have to pick up on this, because it's similar to what they said that ESL was trying to get at, in which I don't necessarily agree with. However, um, I can't say exactly why they're trying to do this. I don't know why. And let's see if this will actually go through. Sherwin, what's your take?
Honestly, my take on the situation is, ESL through Perez and his crew came out on Sunday, and the entire world was against it. And on Monday, the UEFA boss said, "Just hold my beer. I have something worse for you." You understand? That's how I see it. Um, Pep Guardiola came out and said that for this to work, UEFA would have to find another probably 100 days on the yearly calendar for, for something like this to work. And I totally agree with him. As I pointed out the other night, while my calculations were off, but just basically going off the top of my head on the night, um, the, the the amount of games that the players are going to be playing, especially in a World Cup qualifying season, right? A World Cup qualifying year, it's going to be totally absurd. You probably will have less quality players going to the World Cup. You'll probably have less quality players playing the last half of a season. You'll probably have less quality players playing in a Champions League final because of the amount of games they have played throughout the season, and then the amount of games, the amount of injuries that they incur. You get what I say? So for me, it is totally madness. It is just it is just going back on what the ECL was trying to do by creating an extra competition, extra amount of work for the players, and then now here comes UEFA, who should be, in my opinion, agreeing with the guys who are saying that cut it down to 28 instead of increasing it to 36, right? That's what I agree with. If it means that the Premier League has to lose a team, then they lose a team. You get what I mean? But it can't be business as usual by adding an extra 100 games to the footballing calendar. That is just total madness for me.
I made a brilliant point just now, Sherwin, because it is something that actually crossed my mind. I was looking at it and I was saying that, all right, let's say they roll out with whatever they come with, right? And
Mm,
it is in motion. The next World Cup after the 2022, because remember that they plan to put this proposal into place by 2024. So the next World Cup
mm,
would be in 2026, right? No, I mentioned earlier on that one particular player might end up playing 70 matches for the season. If you add World Cup to that now, you could see a player possibly playing up close to 80 matches for one season. No, how ludicrous is that, boss man? How will that help a player? You'll actually look at it that you'd have to fit in probably 100 games into probably 2 or 3 months in a boss. And how is that possible? So if you look at it from our
It
standpoint, I think
cannot be
it
possible.
is something that they never gave a lot of thought to, and it was just something that they just pushed onto fans and to these teams as well.
I think I think UEFA was just trying to come back to say they care about small teams, so they are going to come and propose something that cater to small teams. That's all it was about to me. Like it's
But
just a business move. The Super League was supposed to be about big teams, and now they are supposed to be about small teams. So I guess it's just a marketing thing. They
then if
come.
it's about
Listen,
then Lynch, if it's about for me, if it's about small teams, right? Then if the Champions League shouldn't be the thing that you're touching. What you should be touching is the Europa League.
Europa League.
You get what I mean? Yeah, touch the Europa
Congrats,
League.
boss.
You can't touch the Champions League, brother, if a small teams you look at because
Because
who are
remember that they have Champions League as the premier club competition in Europe, So if you have it as the premier, why should you not trying to water it down just to cater for the small teams?
exactly you get
Yeah,
on the
that was
yeah.
a great point. You don't make no sense. You have a lower league than the Champions League, but yet still you're still trying to get the more teams that are not up to quality with the big teams because they can't afford certain players. Most of these
Mhm.
teams are once they come and their players look good, they're gone. They're gone in a second. They're not playing in no league that's very marketable in the first place. So their players are always going to be on the move. So it's not going to. They shouldn't have touched the Champions League. I don't see how they're putting a remodel of it will work.
Mhm.
Agreed upon. And something I just forgot as well. Imagine a player who plays in the Champions League, right? And for
Mhm.
some reason, his club might finish third in the group, so you know that they're going to drop down to the Europa League. You know that's added matches as well, brother. I wasn't
Yeah,
even thinking about that.
yeah,
So just imagine all of that.
here my thing, Levi. My thing is if you're going to want the smaller teams involved, cut out this drop finishing third in a Champions League and dropping down. Cut that out totally. You
Agreed
finish
upon.
outside that you finish outside of one
That's
or
that
two,
that's
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 it.
it for you in Europe.
Understand?
Agreed. Agreed totally.
And then now what you do now is you add 8 more teams, so you add 2 more groups to the Europa League. You understand what I say? So that's 8 teams you're adding. So all of these teams that would be finishing third coming down. No man, you tell them bye bye man, go my yard man, you're never good enough for Champions League. You're not good enough for Europa League. And then you give the teams now, you give 8 more teams across Europe the opportunity now to enter the Europa League at the group stage by creating 2 new groups. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
because as Chris said, they're trying to say that they care for the smaller teams. So if you care about the smaller teams, let them go play in Europa League, man. Let them go show
Yes.
the quality in Europa League and actually have a chance to win something down there. Not that don't water down the quality of the Champions League for
But
that.
but 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 when you look at the teams that they are classifying as small teams, these teams that will be entering the Europa League or the Champions League, they are established clubs, most of them, because if you look at who is finishing eighth in the Premier League, what the current standing. Zin, and you go back to some other leagues. You go back to some other leagues, boy, and leave me alone, no, man. And you go back to some
Focus,
other
man,
leagues.
focus.
Yeah, man. You go back to like the Spanish league, and you look at the team that would be finishing outside of a Champions League space or outside of a Europa League space. They are still good quality teams, still well established teams.
But Sherwin, why did you mention about if you look at the hate place in England, boss, Arsenal not even hate, so why are you mentioning hate? Why couldn't you say seventh?
Just a try a thing. See if we
No
can
man,
get
everything this
squeaky.
man have to try and incorporate Arsenal in. No man, don't do that.
That I never intention still. But yeah, so it got back for me, it got back down to remodeling the Europa League so that you can get more of the smaller, less established clubs into European competition than messing around with the Champions League. That as Lynch said, it doesn't need messing around with. It's already established and it's already one of the best footballing leagues in the world. You get what I say? So you don't need to touch it.
Because Levon, Manu went out in the group stage, right?
Yeah,
I think they were a quality team to advance from the group, but they went out. But that's what made the Champions League so good. You can
Exactly.
end up in a group of death, like just like the World Cup. You might just end up in a group of death where you have three teams that any other group they would have probably gone through.
agreed
That's
upon.
true.
Because
That's
if you
true.
look at it, there's a likely possibility because guess what? We're in the semifinals, so there's a likely possibility that United has a 25% chance of winning the Europa League currently. Because guess what? It's four teams remaining. All four teams have 25% at this point in time.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
as Sherwin just alluded to, I personally, right, I'm going to look at it from a logical standpoint and a fair standpoint. If it was left up to me, I would say no Man United to them yard. Once you drop out the Champions League, boss man, go on home.
Yeah, man, go home, man. Yeah,
That's how I
man.
look at it. Let the teams that actually started that competition get a chance to actually win that competition because
Exactly.
you were in the premier competition and you couldn't go on. So why should you drop down and come claim my title? No, man, that's
Hmm.
unfair, man.
Because what you're doing in 11, you're telling the smaller teams, that yes, we have spaces in Europa League same way, but the space still enough for you. The space of who come third in the group stage of Champions League. So how you help the small teams them? If
Technically,
you want to
exactly.
help, if you want to help the small teams them, cut out that crap, send them home at their yard, create more groups in the Europa League to match what would have come down from the Champions League. So how much group in a Champions League? Eight or so? Or more than that?
I believe it's about there, man.
Yeah, somewhere up like that. So you create teams, so one, two, three, eight teams that come down or something like that. That's a two group right there. So of teams where wouldn't normally make it into Europa League. Easy
True,
one, two. Simple
true.
fix.
All right, we're going to end that argument. We just want to say that UEFA proposal, total crap, total
Crap.
madness, and stop stress
Yeah.
out the players. Since as you cared that you said that the European Super League never cared about the players and never cared about the fans. So you guys should actually care about the players now. Stop
Hmm.
overstress the players them. They're already stressed out enough already with whatever you have going on.
Hmm.
I'm going to touch on the English Premier League now. Couple matches flew past the other day that was under the radar. As I mentioned on the previous live, Ryan Mason getting his first win, being the interim manager of Tottenham, and Man City salvaging a 2-1 victory over Aston Villa, who took a very early lead, but they couldn't hold it and they ended up losing by 2 goals to 1. Man City
Hmm.
getting closer and closer to that title. And yesterday, we saw Leicester City getting a 3-0 victory over West Brom. And Jamie Vardy finally breaking his goal scoring drought. He scored one and he set up one for the inform man, Kelechi Iheanacho, who is just growing leaps and has become so undroppable in that particular team right now. So
Hmm.
Leicester getting a victory, but that was part of some fixtures that were like some back fixtures that should have taken place
Because of
from them.
cup
Yeah,
games.
yeah. But in match day 33 of the 38, so 5 matches remain for teams like Arsenal and teams like those. Today we saw Arsenal getting beaten by Everton by a goal to nil at the Emirates, and boy, don't look good for
Your German
Arteta at
goalkeeper.
all those Sherwin.
No, look good for your
My German
German
keeper at
goalkeeper.
Sherwin. I personally dislike that. Don't come with that. If you're talking about German goalkeepers and you don't mention Manuel Neuer, Marc-Andre Ter Stegen, I don't know what you're talking about. But
Was it a
it
Serious.
own
was a
goal?
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
comical goal to
Because
concede,
it
my
wasn't on
brethren.
target.
One goal,
It
one goal
wasn't.
by the goalkeeper.
And let's point out that if you look at it, the man that they actually got rid of, Emiliano Martinez, has gone on leaps and bounds, and I'm sure that a lot of Arsenal fans would actually loved if it was still Martinez that was actually keeping goal for Arsenal instead of Burnley now, who has been making Well, for majority of the time he has been consistent, as Sherwin would say, but
Mm-hmm.
he had a blip today, and a lot of Arsenal fans are actually crucifying him. Sherwin,
You know,
what do you think of the overall play? And even though some people might say yes, Pepe has been finding form and all of that, would he
mhm.
have started Odegaard in this match instead of Pepe?
All right, here what happened now with everything we have going with Arsenal and the Premier League. It is obvious now that Arsenal's focus is not the Premier League. So stressing Odegaard in a match like today, I don't think that would have been the best thing to do with Europa League being the only chance of getting into Europe next season, right? No, I wouldn't have started him. What I would have probably done is start Martinelli over Nketiah. I still don't think Nketiah has done enough or done anything at all
Hold on,
to start.
I just had a slip. I just remember that it was actually Nketiah who I should have said. Would have you started either that player or would you have started Odegaard as a number 10 and actually give Pepe the chance to strike in a false nine position, or you'd probably draw for Balogun?
Well, anyone out of that could have worked. I've never seen Arsenal using a false number nine yet. I've never seen them. I can't remember seeing them. I think under Emery we did it once and it didn't work out. So, yeah, I would have probably gone with a Martinelli or give Balogun a chance up front. You get what I mean? But the Leno thing, the reason why I'm not killing Leno is because when you watch the game, he was having a brilliant game up to that point. He was having an excellent game. He made a couple of good saves up to that point, and then that ball just I don't know what happened with that. Listen, the ball not even on target, brother. The ball not even on target.
It's just
See?
a disease in the air. It happened a few weeks back with Bayern Munich, the the big goalkeeper. No, yeah, so
No,
it's
yeah.
just something going around with the Germans for the Germans, I
Pro-
guess.
Probably. But when you look at the game too, I mean Arsenal is very unfortunate because back to back weeks now we have gotten two penalty cards taken away from us because of marginal, like like probably shirt sleeve over the line type of call, offside call, which is a thing is me still can't understand because me can't see how a player is getting advantage by in two of the over, in shirt sleeve the over, or in finger the over like with Bramford where did that point the other day. How a player get advantage with that. So but Arsenal just have to keep the faith. I think at the end of the season, Arsenal need to really sit down and look into themselves, right? Arsenal really need
I
Arsenal,
finish it.
the entire club really needs to sit down and look at where the club is going. See, if it's Arteta they want, they need to back him. And when I say back him, they're going to back him with money to buy players because that is the only way to get into top four now. See, there's no other way. See, if you're not going to back him, fire him right away. Don't even waste your time. Fire him right away and get the manager what you want. If a players are the problem, if a,
All right, so here's Rodan, one of our viewers, saying that if I was an Arsenal fan, trust me, a long time I did and bury. Man, them too worthless. Um, I'm sure that there's quite a few Arsenal fans that might have agreed with that as well, and you have some that might have disagreed. Chris, tomorrow morning at 6:30 a.m., we'll see Liverpool taking on Newcastle. And boy, it's a bit man, sometimes worry when I see Liverpool at home, you know. But the thing is that Liverpool are unbeaten in their last 24 home league games against Newcastle. They have 120 and drawn 2 since a 2-0 loss in 1994. However, it has been resurgent and they have been doing quite well. So, Chris, do you actually see you guys taking the points at Anfield tomorrow? Because Anfield is like
Like
a KFC shopping now. They're just handing out a lot of three pieces. So, where you see tomorrow going?
Yeah, it's a big deal at Anfield. Obviously, everyone everyone like coming there these days, and it's not a good look on a team that has won the Premier League. Um, it's always a worry. You don't like to play these teams at the back end of the season. Teams that are struggling at the foot of the table, trying to get out of relegation zone, you don't like to play them. I told you about Leeds last week. They were going to play free, and I just worried that Liverpool wouldn't get over the line, and I couldn't see them winning the game. And this is the same. This is the same thing. Newcastle need points. What I don't know if Liverpool can beat this team right now on the farm that they are playing at. If you are not playing good, you cannot beat teams that come desperately who need it more than you, and it's hard to do it. And you have to finish. You have to score goals against these teams, because if they hang around for like 70 minutes in the game, you're in trouble. You're in trouble because now they are just looking to pinch you off, and one counter attack, and then you are done for the day. So it's going to be a tough game. I wouldn't put my money on Liverpool as a Liverpool fan. It's going to be a tough one, but um, I guess I would have to go with a one all draw if I had to
Wow.
bet on them.
Wow. You said you'd rather play it safe than actually go to the edge and actually call it for your team since you guys haven't scored that much at Anfield either.
I didn't call it. I didn't think that we would beat Leeds, and I just can't say this is a more desperate team than Leeds. Leeds played freely. They didn't really. They are not struggling in no relegation battle. Newcastle is. They need points. So a draw really does. They don't want to lose any game from here on. They need points. So
And if memory serves me correct, I believe they haven't lost in their what, either their last five or last six matches. So they have been on a decent run.
and since you come out criticizing them playing defensively, they have turned that around and now being looking more offensively.
Yeah,
So
man. See,
that's
Callum Wilson is back in the fold and Saint Maximum is actually getting game time. So that has helped them out a lot. Um, as I always say, we don't leave out our commenters or viewers. And here's also Sheldon Footy Campbell saying that Arsenal should back whoever manager they are going to keep. It make no sense have a team and not invest in it and expect to win or challenge for titles. Boss, Arsenal now win or challenge the title unless a Europa. So next, uh, tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. we'll see an interesting fixture. It's between fourth place and fifth place. Chelsea and West Ham. Both teams have played 32 matches and both are on 55 points. This one is a tantalizing fixture and expected to see some fireworks. Hoping once again that Jesse Lingard can do some damage. Came up the other day with a apparent injury, although coach had said it was just a simple nickel that needed precaution. But here they are against a Chelsea team who failed to score the other day against Brighton, and this said to be a good game. Hopefully West Ham can nick it. Chris, how you see this one going?
think Chelsea has the Real Madrid game in the back of their head. Obviously, they have Real Madrid in 4 days' time, so I think they're going to rest players. They're going to rest players, being confident that they still can put away this West Ham team without their full strength. So I expect them. I really expect Chelsea to come out and look like they really want to show why they are the better team. But West Ham all depends on how Lingard feels. Once he's going to have a good game, then West Ham can get points from that game. I expect a 2-1 scoreline, Chelsea 2-1.
Sherwin, you agree with him?
No, if you might go talk about if you might go talk about the Newcastle game versus um Liverpool game, then me I go talk about this again in the same sense. Um, West Ham see goal in a them in front of them. Zin, this is a London derby. Zin, there's a goal in front of them. And I think that West Ham is going to grab this by the neck. You understand? And me have to disagree with Minch this time, but me I go with and two with Chelsea having the Real Madrid game on the back of their minds. Zin and West Ham. Oh, remember, I know the other day, you talk about West Ham captain, me forgetting you, remind me quick. Um
Declan Rice.
Declan Rice. Yeah, talk about West Ham a play without him since the other day and how in front of the back four no secure. But they still a win game and they still a score. And they still a do what them to do. You get what I say? So imagine him coming back and strengthening up the team in that regard. For me, I think West Ham is going to finish this 2-1. Honestly.
Why? Sherwin, I would love if your prediction actually come true because I'd love if Chelsea get beaten tomorrow. But we're going to move on to a team that has already been confirmed has been relegated, and against another team who are trying to climb up the table. They were involved in a relegation dogfight the other day. Still aren't necessarily out of the woods yet. They're trying to at least move further away from the relegation zone, and I'm talking about Sheffield United versus Brighton. Sherwin, I'm going to stick with you for this one. How is this one going?
Brighton is going to win this game easily. I'm going for 2-0 because it's just Sheffield United haven't shown anything over the course of the season for us to at 33 games in give them a chance to win a game against Brighton, who is not relegated as yet, or probably will
They
not
won't be
be.
relegated, man. It's
Yes,
hard. Stick a
yeah, that's
pin,
what
Sherwin.
mm,
I personally think that the three teams that are in 18th, 19th, and 20th
that's it.
will be the three teams that actually go down. I don't think
Yes,
the table will change any at all because if you look at Fulham, right? Fulham has played 33 games. So they have played a
mhm.
game more than all the other teams down at the bottom. So I think they'll actually go down as well. So finish up what you were going to say about
Yeah,
this.
yeah. That made it say more than likely they won't go down. So I can't in my good sense come on a night like this and say new Sheffield United is going to surprise Brighton and win the game. No, I think Brighton is going to comfortably win this game 2-0 and kind of secure up their spot in for next season.
Chris, what is it? You expect Brighton to finally get a victory?
Like Liverpool, Sheffield United is a three-piece and everywhere these days as well. It's a big deal. It's a big deal anytime anyone sees Sheffield these days. The only thing they have playing for is players playing to impress other teams that's coming up and other teams in the Premier League. That's the only thing they have really playing for. They have confirmed relegation. So I don't expect I don't Brighton if they Brighton will anything except 3 points will feel like a loss for Brighton.
Agreed upon. And I'm going to stick with you again. And next up, we'll actually see Wolves taking on Burnley Sunday morning at 6 a.m. Let's see this one going. Chris.
They're only having a poor season as a team that had played good over the past 2 seasons. They're having a very poor season. What they are at 17th or 18th, somewhere
17.
Yeah,
somewhere around
Burnley.
there.
Burnley are
Yeah, Burnley,
17.
Burnley. Yeah, too close
Yeah,
to
man.
the relegation. Too close to the relegation zone. What 6 points off, but too close to the relegation zone. And I
Mhm.
think Sean Dice know that he still has work to get done. Um, it's going to be a good game. I can't see Burnley getting a result from this game. I have to go with Wolves. They always seem to finish strong at the back end of the season. Remind me of Manchester United. Just always seem to have something at the end of the season going for them.
Yeah, don't jump at the draft analogy tonight again because I come with it the other day. Don't come with it tonight again. But
Mhm.
I can further help substantiate the point because Wolves has missed Raul Jimenez a lot this season as well, and
Mhm.
that hasn't helped them out. Finally, William Jose got first goal for them the other day, and they have been marred by injuries right throughout the season. And they arguably, well, not arguably, their best player this season is also out for the rest of the season. That's Pedro Neto. He had to
Mhm.
he had to get a surgery done, so that hasn't helped them any at all. But Adama Traore seemingly has found a little bit of form to the back end of the season. What is now? 3 games on the bounce that he has been involved in a goal contribution. So playing against a team like Burnley doesn't necessarily offer the space in the end, but a team like Wolves now, where Wolves can actually catch Burnley is when Burnley has like set pieces. For instance, corners has proven against Man United last week Sunday. The thing with them is that because all of their defenders come up for the corners and things like that, with a fast man like Traore to actually run in behind, you can cause damage. So counter attack would probably be the order of the day for Wolves if they want to get through this Burnley team because they set up in a sense that they play with two banks of four and
Mm-hmm.
they play very good together. They started the season shakily, very shaky, I mean, without Ben Mee, their captain. But since he returned and that partnership with Tarkowski, it has been brilliant. And the left back, Charlie Taylor, he's very good 1v1, but as I mentioned, they tend to always play high up the park when it comes down to corner. And if you're good enough to catch them at the counter, you can actually do that. As Rashford did the other day, multiple times by beating Matthew Lowton. So if Wolves want to win this game, they have to catch Leeds out and that Leeds, I mean Burnley out on the counter. So
Burnley.
let's see how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like Chris, you expect Wolves to get the victory, right?
Yeah, expect Burnley always seem to have a goal in them, so it's always good to buy Burnley for a goal. They ever seem always seems to find a goal somewhere. I don't know where, but they
Mm-hmm.
always
From one of the long
have
throws,
one.
eh?
Yeah,
Yeah,
interesting. Lynch would have said, he expect Burnley, not Burnley, but Wolves to get a win because if Wolves get the win, come tomorrow, that's exactly what the Premier League wants. A ding dong battle between Burnley and I think who would it be? Fulham to see who stays up because Fulham would now be 6 points behind them. And considering what's left to come, then any card can play. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, me I go with Wolves to win to 1-1 though. Me now I go 2-0.
All right, boss. Next up, we'll see Leeds United taking on Man United at 8 a.m. on Sunday. Few things to point out. Leeds are unbeaten in their last five Premier League games. They have won three, drawn two, with the Whites last having a longer run without defeating the top flight in February, March 2002. And let's also point out that on this five-match unbeaten run that they've been on, they have come up against Man City, who they beat, and they came up against Liverpool. They also got a points from. On the other hand, Manchester United are unbeaten in their last 23 Premier League away games. They have won 15, drawn 8, with only Arsenal between April 2003 and September 2004. And the Arsenal unbeaten run is actually 27. Man United are currently at 23. So at least Sherwin get a little bit of props tonight. I didn't beat up Arsenal much tonight, so I get a little props tonight, so take a shine. But we're not going to focus on their team. We're talking about United and Leeds, and the reverse fixture. United actually won by 6 goals to 2, but that could have been a way bigger score. It could have been something like similar to a volleyball scoreline because it was up and down right throughout and ended
yeah,
15 or thereabouts.
and because you scored so early, two quick goals, really, that's how the game could have gone. Yeah, it was really bad.
But one of Leeds' most influential players, Rafinha, is
Mm-hmm.
50-50 to make this match. He didn't play against Liverpool because of a knock he picked up. And it's a 50-50% chance that he'll make it. And also, Marcus Rashford, who didn't train over the weekend, but the coach says that probably you'll see Rashford. And knowing who this is, once Rashford get up tomorrow and said he feels over 50%, Rashford will play. Chris,
Mm-hmm.
how you see this match going?
Unlike unlike the other Reds on Merseyside, Manchester United is flying and they are confident. Teams that is coming to open up against Manchester United basically in trouble because they have the players to exploit all of that. They have the pace and finesse to exploit all of that. So unlike when they were playing Liverpool Leeds, I was afraid Manchester United should be comfortable. They like playing against Leeds. Obviously, they have scored 10 goals in the last two meetings. So obviously, they love playing against this team. I can see Leeds has nothing playing for really. They're just trying to finish with as much points as possible. They I mean, there's always good to beat a big team, a team that has a lot of fans and all of that. That people always seems to get energetic against those type of teams. So Manchester United have to look for that. But unless Manu doesn't show up, I can't see Leeds causing an upset.
All right, Sherwin, your take?
Um, are you one tonight? So I go be unbiased. Come bother with your holla tonight. I think this
So
is
you too,
going
man.
to. I think this is going to be the game of the weekend because Manchester United have been playing well since Arsenal defeated them 1-0 at Old Trafford through an Aubameyang penalty. They have been playing really well. You know, me have to get that.
Yeah,
They
man,
have
your
been,
only highlight for the season.
you know, they have been playing really well. And again, we know how Leeds play. Them attacking minded and nothing can change that. They down 10-0 or them a lead 1-0, nothing can change it. You understand? They're attacking minded, and I think that is going to make for a very good game. It is not going to be 6-2 like last time. I'm actually going for a 2-all.
Once, before, wait once. Somebody asking you to pick Leeds, please. They don't want you to pick Manu.
No, man. This time round, me actually going for a 2-all draw this time in this game, actually.
I guess the person would be happy with
Yes,
that.
Yes, yes,
you're unbiased on that. You're unbiased. You're sure about that.
yes.
Oh, all right.
Very.
In terms of lead season, how do you assess them overall?
Right? If Bramford could have this score more goal, they would have the way up in the
How would you assess
in the league.
how would you assess the season that they have had?
Who? Leeds.
Yeah.
Leeds. What may I say? If Bramford was a top striker, they would be much higher up the league. For me, coming into their first season, they have done really well. Um, yeah, it goes to show that the coach that they have, the manager that they have, he's a very good coach. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't change his style to suit anyone, that's what impresses me. You know, you did not pull up that one, man. That's what impresses me mostly about this sport. So they have had, for me, this is a season that they wanted, and they have gotten it. They're mid-table. They have the potential to. I think with Arsenal losing today, they have the potential of jumping Arsenal in the table. And that is very good. In and amongst the mid-table, your mid-table rivals for your first season. So yeah, I think they have had a good season, and respect to the manager. Um, Respect him a lot because he just don't change his philosophy to suit nobody. I really admire that a lot. So I would give their season an 8 out of 10 so far, to be honest.
Okay. So producer, where's the producer? I agree that you can actually say congrats to Sherwin and Arsenal for claiming the I beat Manchester United title this season.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And me just let me put you out in the public that Manchester United has not been Arsenal since Oli took
Okay,
over.
let's move on.
Okay, get that in
Let's move on. Let's
get that
move on.
in too.
And Chris, yes, Roots Meal is saying that bone support Arsenal means high blood pressure. No one day we're in your house. But so the next that will take on Sunday, 1 p.m. We'll see Aston Villa taking on West Brom. As I mentioned earlier on that I expect West Brom to go down. It won't be it won't be one of those cases where some Allardyce will actually save a team from going down and beating the job. This time around, he'll actually go down with them. So I expect Aston Villa to come out and beat this West Brom team because I don't think they're that good. Chris, how you see this one going?
Uh they probably have a lot of confidence. They were beaten 3-0 by Leicester, but I think they did well, conceding 3 goals in the first half, but they did well to make sure it didn't get worse from there on. I think they are going to be the winner of this one. I trust that they have sight on Fulham, seeing Fulham that is just 3 points ahead of them. I trust that they're coming to play. West Brom is always a team like that, never seems to know when to die. And Sam Allardyce is a coach like that as well. Never always seems like he can get a result.
There's a match made in heaven.
Yeah, he always seems to can get a result. But it should be that's probably should be the game of the weekend because West Brom is struggling and need the 3 points, and Aston Villa just don't have nothing to really play for more than just come out and try and grab more points again and put more points on the board. But I can see West Brom winning 2-1 or 3-1.
Sherwin, you think that's
Um,
feasible?
no, sir. I mean, I don't agree with that. I actually think Aston Villa is going to win this one. It's going to be probably a good game. Probably not because it can be cagey because any point for West Brom, good. Whether 3 points or 1 point, then we take anything as long as they not finish the game for 0 points. So it can be a cagey game. Aston Villa dropping off and team somewhat, but so I'm still going with Aston Villa to win the game 2-1.
And
And my
here's a Chelsea fan in the comment section saying that West Brom for going home, them style up the thing. Man, I know that that 5 goals is still reminiscent in your head, man. But I hope that it will be a good fixture. And also know that Aston Villa won't actually pursue getting Ross Barkley on a permanent deal because he started off good for them, but eventually started to fall off. And since then, he has lost
yeah,
his starting spot at Aston Villa. Marvelous Nakamba has been the one who has started most matches in that role for Aston Villa as
yeah.
the season has progressed.
And Levan, this is one of the things we want to point to with some players at some top clubs. Where the big name players at top clubs now perform, fans call for them for why the coach now start them and all of these things and them a big player and all of these things. And then when that particular player get a move to a little club, where he's supposed to start every game, then you say, oh crap, these are the reason why you never did that play. Cause you turn crap. You understand? So yeah, I mean some of the time we could just trust the coach them, you know, and trust the process, because the important some of
Sherwin,
the time.
Sherwin,
Mhm. Mhm.
Sherwin, I don't know why for the umpteenth time you're trying to incorporate one Mikel Arteta into the argument. Brother, there's no process to trust with that man. Get rid of the man. Jose Mourinho is out of a job. You can go get Jose Mourinho
Listen,
now.
let me take off my mask with the one. Yeah, idiot. Eh? You're flipping. Yeah, idiot. Eh?
You say you will take a fine. You will take a fine for
Yeah,
this one.
you're mad, man. But you're mad. It was Jose Mourinho, man. Yeah, idiot, man. No, man. Mm-mm.
Jose Mourinho to take over the reins at Arsenal. Come on, man. Don't be like that. Don't be a spoiled brat.
No
Yeah,
thanks.
Jose need to go home. Jose need to go home now. Yeah.
Yeah, man, the man need to make it home now. So actually
In
give him
can
an
go
opportunity to
in can go work with Wegner over FIFA.
no man, the man actually wants a place over Arsenal, man. So take it.
Eh.
But as I mentioned though, and I see another fan saying in the comment section that since Barkley has returned from the injury, he hasn't looked himself, and that could be somewhat plaguing him. However, he has returned. He has returned for quite a while now, and
Yes, he has.
if that's the case, and he has returned for quite a while, and he has gotten the playing time, that's the thing. He has gotten the time to actually build back confidence, and he hasn't. So I can't really fault um Aston Villa for not pursuing him. And know that they have gotten in Morgan Sanson. I expect him to come good next season. Hasn't gotten much of an opportunity since he has signed for Marseille, but hopefully he get an opportunity as next season comes in. Um, last but not least, we'll see Leicester City taking on Crystal Palace in the final fixture of this particular match weekend. Where's this one going, Chris?
Leicester versus Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Leicester seem like they're still in contention. Obviously, they are not out the woods yet to qualify for Champions League, so they're still right there about Liverpool looking to pounce on them, Chelsea looking to get in front, West Ham looking to get in front,
Why
Tottenham
why
looking to get
why
in
these
front.
men are trying to incorporate the teams into this thing?
It's not me.
Let me give a look at
I'm
distinction
telling you
right here.
the teams.
Hold on, boss. Let me give a look at distinction right here. Leicester City are currently on 59 points. Liverpool are on 53. So Liverpool are 6 points behind Leicester City. Also, West Ham and Chelsea, who are both on 55 points, will be playing against each other tomorrow. So more than likely there's a possibility that one of them will drop points, so one of them will further go down the table.
Mhm.
Why are you incorporating so much side man and the man start off by saying Liverpool?
It's all the
Liverpool
teams
that
that's
Liverpool
looking.
Liverpool that can't win a game at Anfield, boss. Anyways, continue, Chris.
You don't say no easy. Anyhow, with all of that said, Leicester City should win this game comfortable. They need points. They need to make sure they make this Champions League. Brendan Rodgers knows how important it is for teams to go in the Champions League. He knows what that does for him in the transfer market, and it knows what back your boss back you more when you qualify for competitions like those. You get more money to spend. You can ask for more money because you're in a competition that the world watches and not just the English Premier League. But I expect Leicester to win this one. Crystal Palace, Leicester City. Yeah, I expect Leicester to win this one. Probably 3-1.
Sherwin, do you agree?
Brandon Rogers have two problems every season. Then one is Slippy G. He has the Slippy G problem no more. Two, injuries. Then which the injuries part of the Leicester team now are improved. Plus he get Ian Nacho and farm. So for me, there's no slipping up with Leicester now. I think they're calling tonight. Leicester going to finish third in the Premier League this season. Full stop. Leicester go finish third. Then this game, I think Leicester is going to is this Leicester City is going to win this game, and they're going to win it comfortably. Leicester City is going to win this game 3-1 from Sunday.
Okay, boss. We're going to touch on a little cricket, and I'm going to start with a lot of people favorite cricketer Chris Gale. He actually
Yes.
came good today for his team, and they actually got a victory finally. And there's a lot of bashing going around Chris that the captaincy this season for them has been very poor. They're saying that KL Rahul captaincy in terms of his bowling changes are quite questionable, and that has somewhat contributed to them performing poorly this season. Do you agree with that notion?
Yeah, I think he's I think the 2020 game, it depends on quick thinking. It's not like the ODI and the test format that gives you a lot of time. And if you missed out on something, in 2020, once you miss the trick, that's how it is. So sometimes if you don't get your bowling changes spot on and your field placement spot on, you can just lose a game by one of those decisions. And that's how the 2020 game is played. He hasn't been one of the better captain, and his team hasn't been one of the better teams, I must say. Also, they haven't backed him really well. Because sometimes you see a bowler good in the nets, and probably that's why he gives certain bowler the balls at times, thinking that he has seen this player being bowling a good line and length in the nets, and he's just trusting the player and backing the player, but he just doesn't turn up for him. So sometimes that's how it is. But Chris Gale did play a brilliant innings today. It was a low scoring encounter, but he did stuck through the rough times and play a brilliant innings to
All
see
right.
his team.
One player that has been getting a lot of sticks and he deserves it is actually Nicholas Puran. I
For
saw them made a meme of him the other day. All right, so in one innings, he faced what? I believe it was two deliveries, then got out for a duck.
yeah.
In a follow-up innings, he faced one delivery and got
Mm-hmm.
out for a duck. And I believe in the next innings as well, he only got one delivery again. As a matter of fact, I don't think he got a delivery. He was actually
No,
run out.
well, no, you never face a
Run out without
delivery.
facing a delivery.
Yep,
So
yep,
it
yep.
was two balls for a duck, one ball for a duck, and without facing the ball out for a duck. And it leads me to one thing to think that okay, he has had 9 innings thus far, and he has a very poor average of 4.33. Isn't that a cause for concern for their team? Because he has been integral to them for the past couple of seasons, and with him not performing, as you said, KRL at the top has done decent, Agarwal as well, but in terms of middle order support, you have to be scratching it and thinking, where's the next man to come in to actually help out that middle order? So it has been really topsy-turvy for them this season.
Yeah, he's very out of form. I was concerned when I was watching the Sri Lanka series, I must say, and he just didn't look like he was striking the ball clean. He's normally a clean striker of the ball, and he just didn't look that way in the Sri Lanka series to me personally. And it seems like he had been in bad touch since then, and then he carried to India and doing the same thing. Obviously, not his best, not at his best at the moment. Normally, always wouldn't fail so many times in a row, and that's how it is. I guess he just have to come again next season if
Although
he does.
there's still enough time remaining in the season for him to come good, so it's just a matter of time if he actually will come good.
Yeah, I
And
don't think, but because the tournament
there's
is so short, you have to get dropped at some point. You have to get dropped at some point and give
but
some and give the
there's
next one.
yes, Christopher Harvey saying that Kale put too much trust in the Aussie bowlers. He has learned from that, and he has learned from that, so we should see some consistency from the bowling United now. Ravi Vishnu will be a good going forward. Yeah, he has been good for the past couple years, and I've seen him from the Hindi under 19, and he looks quite a talent. So hopefully he can come good for them because it's a team that I look up to because they have what three West Indians in their team. They have Fabian Allen, Chris Gale, and Puran. So
Mm-hmm.
let's hope that they come good. But one thing that impressed me was the innings by a youngster who's actually 20 years old. Devdutt Patidal yesterday. He scored a brilliant century for Royal Challengers Bangalore in a high run scoring chase by him and Virat Kohli. They actually won by 10 wickets. And Chris, this is a player that India has high hopes for in terms of his batting prowess, and he was very good yesterday. So, do you think that he's a player that can actually break through and make it into the India team eventually, based on how you saw him in terms of his technique and all of that and his temperament?
First and foremost, I don't know if this is a record. It was 181 runs, not out without loss, no wicket. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah, the youngster look good, but it's always hard. This team is India. The big teams in the world is not like West Indies. You don't just make a one score or a two score and you jump into teams like India because they have so much consistent performers over the years. You can't just make the India team just like that. So I guess he would have to show in the IPL. This is his showcase to show that he deserves that spot, and I'm sure India will find some spot in the team for him, especially in the World Cup here. If this farm continue, they're not leaving him home.
But also, point he had a very good IPL season last year in a year, and he did have this season so much, but has finally found his groove and his striking range. So I expect big things. A player that I really like. Um, let's see how this goes though. And there's a question from one of our viewers. They said, what you guys actually think about Virat Kohli opening the innings?"
Normally,
Chris,
normally once you bat at number three, you were classified as an opener because the very first ball of the innings, you would have had experience from it. Now, that's why you can move around openers to bat like at one down, two, number three. It's because they would have used to it. They would have used to the situation. Like Virat Kohli, we know that his technique is very good. So it was impressive to see that he could do it because a lot of people, when they comparing Gale and Kohli, they said that Gale opened the innings and Virat doesn't. But really and truly, once you bat at that position, you're an opener. You're really you can open, I would think. And that's what he
and
showcased today. That anywhere he put, and he's a good chaser of games. I don't know why. It seems like he just like chasing.
yeah, man. And big match on Sunday. Chennai Super Kings versus Royal Challengers Bangalore should be a very good match. Chennai is scoring a lot of runs. Faf du Plessis has been in good nick, so let's see how this one goes. And on that note, we have reached the end of the live. Want to say thank you again to Sherwin, who Well, let us correct a couple of our viewers because some things he's still at home. He's actually not at home, and that's the reason why he's actually wearing a mask tonight. So we'll not beat him for that. It's not because Arsenal lost. Arsenal is actually stressing him. He's actually out in the field, man. So he has to protect himself from COVID and avoid that $1,000 Kenyan money. So we don't want him to
Yes.
be charged. So keep on the mask, boss. As I mentioned at the top of the show, thanks again to the all-rounder, the big all-rounder, Chris Lynch, for
Oh, me's an
positive.
all around cricket, you know. Me's an all around cricket, man.
So technically,
Yeah,
I was
man.
right. I said you were a bowler, batsman, a fielder, and a
Me's an
keeper.
all around cricket, man.
But
Yeah, man. Me's an all around.
actually happy that
But
you're
you're
you
a
were.
big all rounder too, man. You're not talking for sports, so you're a big all rounder.
Yeah, why you have to get
World
that in,
class
boss
all
man?
rounder, man.
But
You can't.
thanks for being here, guys, and thanks to all the viewers. And this wouldn't have been possible to you guys and the producer. Sure, we wanted more viewers tonight, but I guess some of you guys are caught up. But I want to say thank you to all those who are here, and until next time,
And
take.
Josh, can you stop going to St. Thomas now? Man City has already won the league. Stop going to St. Thomas, please.
Lynch.
Leave St. Thomas
No
alone,
man, no man.
please.
Chris Josh says that he's a Christian man, so he just pray
Lynch.
over all things.
Okay, good.
Lynch.
Okay.
You know, them attack you on the post about the LeBron thing. Them attack you
Yeah,
on the post.
yeah.
You know, them already coming. Someone attack you on the post about over LeBron.
All right, just pray away COVID and stop pray for Manchester United. That is harder right now. COVID
No,
is
No,
but
cured.
Chris, the man is saying that there's someone in the comment section that's actually attacking you when it comes down to the LeBron James issue.
Oh, probably it's fine action. He's always all over the place about.
them attack you, Lynch. But Lynch, City need 8 points from 5 games, right? So that they once they lose 3 games, then you know.
Yeah, man, that's fine action. That's fine action. Once he said sticks to cricket and we didn't discuss LeBron tonight at all, it's fine action. No.
All right,
Once
boss.
you see a post not talking, we didn't discuss nothing about basketball and he's talking.
All right, boss. And thanks to the producer who makes it possible. Until next time, guys.